Hi, welcome back to Acre Farm. I'm Brandy. Today I'm going to be doing a freezer meal prep. So it is the 2nd of May here in Northwest Ohio. We are just about to plant our garden for the year. We always wait until at least May. That's when our last frost date is and just seems to be the safest way to garden for us. So with the days getting longer, with getting ready to plant the garden, we have new livestock on the farm. We got our feeder pigs recently, and then we're also going to be getting meat chickens and turkeys here soon. So life is just about to get a lot busier. We are going to be outside a lot more. We'll start spending our evenings after work outside for several hours before coming in the house and making dinner. So this is the time of the year where it gets really hard for me to cook the home cooked from scratch meals that we prefer to eat. And I don't want to fall into the trap of eating things that aren't good for us and quick convenience meals, or eating out and getting takeout all the time, because not only do I not like the ingredients, I also don't like what it costs. So I decided to put a little bit of effort in, make some freezer meals, get them in the freezer and ready to go, and then I can pull these out and cook them on the nights where I just don't have time. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to be doing 3 different recipes and hoping to get between 8 and 10 recipes in the freezer. I'm just not sure how much some of them are going to make, which is why I'm not sure exactly how many it will be. But let's see what all we can get done, and let's jump in. We're going to start off by cooking my version of a quick skillet meal. So follow along and let's do some freezer cooking. Alright, so the first recipe that I'm doing for my freezer meals is going to be like a pasta veggie skillet meal, frozen and ready to go. So kind of fashioning it after if you've ever seen the bird's eye voila skillet meals that are in the freezer section at the store. They're super easy. I have used them sometimes because sometimes you just need a quick meal you can throw together. But I thought I can make them myself, and they're going to be way better quality ingredients and probably cheaper to make as well. So I've got water boiling. I'm going to use, it's like 1.5 things of penne pasta, and then over here I'm going to make the sauce, and then we'll assemble everything together in bags that'll go in the freezer. Over here is ground beef. I have a bunch of it thawing in some cold water. I did not plan ahead very good, so I didn't get it out as early as I would have liked to, but we're gonna get it thawed now, and it'll just take a little while before I'm ready to move forward with my ground beef recipes. I'm just gonna let this pasta come to an al dente boil. You don't want to finish cooking the pasta totally when you're going to use it in a freezer meal. You want to cook it till it's close to done, but if you cook it all the way to done, then it's going to be mushy when you reheat it after freezing it. So just getting this mostly cooked, and then I'm going to work on my cream sauce as well. All right. Base of my cream sauce is going to be butter. Let that melt. Move you a little more up close and personal. Butter is getting melted. Start with my seasonings here in a second. Actually, I'm going to use my garlic this way, not the powder.
So a little more cheese. I'm just gonna let this simmer and come together a little bit thicker before it goes in with the rest of our ingredients in the bags.
All right, let's get these bags assembled. Just using this to help my bag stay together. Got a big bag of frozen veggies here. Keeping those hot. Add in some noodles. My goal is to make 3 bags. We're gonna see how it goes with 1 and 2, and then I can add more as needed. A little bit more. All right. One. Need more sauce. All right, so we're gonna make up a little more sauce, and then I think I could potentially get 2 more bags. So, back to the stove to make some more sauce. We had a little mishap with the second batch cream sauce. It overflowed a little bit. It's still salvageable, but my stove is gonna need a serious cleaning when we are done with this. If you think anyone's kitchen is perfect, you are completely wrong. It doesn't matter how many times you've done something. Sometimes things just go wrong, and it's okay. As long as you're producing food in your kitchen, a little mishap is never the end of the world. Keep cooking. All right, we're back. I have more cream sauce. There was a slight catastrophe in the process, but it's all good. Can't sweat the small stuff, right? We're just gonna pretend my stove is not a complete disaster. Reheating these is gonna be super easy. Literally just throw it all in a skillet on the stove with, I'll probably add some water or butter, and just heat it all the way through till everything comes to temperature. And you have a delicious dinner that's pretty nutritious. Not perfect, but it's better than what you get in the store. And remember how I told you that we weren't getting these to done? They're still al dente. Voila. I need to get all of these marked out. Try and get as much of the air out as possible. You'll notice I did not add a protein to this. So what I'm gonna do is I have home canned chicken that all I have to do is throw it in a pot, heat it up. So when I go to heat this up to serve, I'm just gonna add a can of my home canned chicken that was also home raised, and boom, it's done. I just didn't feel like it was a good idea to do the chicken all the way up and add it to here ahead of time when all I have to do is open the can and dump it in at cooking time. So I tried to just save myself one easy little step in this process. Granted, if you're doing this from home and you want to add chicken along the way, you absolutely can. I think a really easy way to do this would be getting a rotisserie chicken from the store and then using that as your protein source. You can also totally leave it as is. You don't have to add chicken. That's just what is in the recipe that I modeled this after, the little frozen meals you get at the store. But make it your own. That's the beauty of cooking at home, is you can do what you want. Four meals for the freezer, done, and moving on to our next freezer meal. We are getting ready for gardening season. All right, we're moving into our next recipe. This is gonna be lasagna. So I'm gonna do up a bunch of ground beef and then move into building those lasagnas, get them ready to go in the freezer. All right, I'm just gonna let this ground beef start browning. It's still just a little frozen in the middle, even though I did thaw it in the water. So get this rolling. I'm gonna work on gathering some of my other ingredients, and then we'll come back and get this ready to go into the lasagna sauce. My lasagna is really basic, but it's super easy, and it tastes great, so no complaints from me. Ground beef is getting there. If you don't have one of these tools, it's like a little meat chopper. This thing is so good for breaking up ground beef or ground turkey, whatever you're working with, sausage. So this ground beef is just about browned. Then it's gonna go into my strainer. This thing is so amazing for getting all the grease out of beef. I use it absolutely constantly. And once we get all the ground beef ready, we'll go over and we'll work on the cheese mixture to go in the lasagna and seasoning this ground beef up into our meat sauce. All right, let's work on assembly. So I have that meat just sitting here draining. So I've got cottage cheese and ricotta cheese. I don't like to be shy with the cheese sauce. In my opinion, it is the best part. Might be a bit much, but we're rolling with it. Couple eggs. I think these just help to bind together the cheese sauce. Farm fresh, of course. All right, calling that good. Now I'm going to move on to working on the meat sauce itself. Onions, every time, without fail. Okay. I'm gonna do about half an onion. We're using the pot because I can. Olive oil. Onion. Garlic. And then I use just basic tomato sauce. This is what I use for all my pasta sauce. I have a whole video on it if you'd like to know more details on that. I will link that in the description box. Right in it goes. I don't like diced tomatoes, but my husband does, so I am meeting him in the middle. We're going to do one thing of diced tomatoes to go with the 2 things of tomato sauce, which should please both of us and be a happy medium. All right, this is going to go back on the stove for just a few minutes just to bring everything together, hopefully brown those onions up just a little bit. Then the meat's gonna get added. That's gonna be my sauce base. This goes off to the side for another recipe. If you're curious about why I do this, you see how much grease is in there? I don't want that in my food, so it gets drained out. All right, well, let's assemble these lasagnas. So my base is going to be some of my meat sauce, which smells amazing. Wish you could smell it. I use half-size pan, so I have to break my noodles, which is not a big deal. Cheese sauce. And repeat. I'm gonna use up all my little pieces. Last one is kind of going to be a baby size lasagna. I don't have a ton of noodles left, so I'm kind of just doing a smaller layer.
Waste not, want not.
Three lasagnas ready to rock and roll. I have tops for 2 of these. The third one I will just do with plastic wrap and foil. On to the next meal. All right, on to recipe number 3. I call this cheesy noodle bake thing. I don't know. I don't really have a name for it, but it's very yummy. I'm gonna start with the other half of my onion. Actually, screw this. I hate chopping onions. Work smarter, not harder. Yum. All right. And with just a little bit of olive oil. Spatula. Here I have water boiling. I used the same pot I used earlier because all it did was have noodles in it, so it can have some more noodles in it. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to boil egg noodles in here. This is going to be another ground beef sauce situation. I'm going to do 2 pounds of ground beef.
the best egg noodles. Alright, we're gonna get this recipe put together real quick. I'm gonna spray my pan. My camera missed a few steps, but my meat is drained. So put it back in there. Gonna add tomato sauce. Again, love my tomato sauce. To these. I don't want this to be as tomatoey as like my lasagna was, so I'm gonna see how I feel about one can. I have another little can if I need it. I feel pretty good about that actually. All right. Tomato mixture ready to go. So what we did with the noodles, these are drained. Cream cheese here. Now we're just gonna let these warm noodles break down that cream cheese, and we need that to basically coat the noodles. It did soften this cream cheese, but it really doesn't want to break down. I'm gonna put the lid on and kind of let that just mesh together. I've got two 9x13s here. Meat mixture. Try to go for about half of it. Each 9x13. Keep this stirring. Give that another minute. All right, finally got my noodle mixture coated in cream cheese. And then that's just gonna go in here. Ignore my dog in the background. And then you just kind of mix it all together. You can totally do this in a smaller pan too. This just happened to be what I had. All right. And then cover. Two more meals ready for the freezer.
All right, here we go. Here is the fruits of all of my labors. I ended up with 9 meals that are ready to go in my freezer that I can either throw in the skillet or throw in the oven, and they will be ready to go, fresh, home cooked, mostly from scratch food for my family. So this was a great project. It took me about 2 hours, give or take, to get all of this done, all 9 meals, and that included time where something was boiling on the stove and I could go do something else, or time that something was boiling while I was working on assembling something else, all those kind of things. So it was really pretty time effective, considering that this is 9 dinners I now do not have to worry about other than quickly cooking them on the night in question. So really great project. I highly suggest this if you're looking for a way to get more fresh home cooked meals on your table, but you're a little limited on time. My reason for doing this is that we're moving into gardening season. That's when I'm going to be outside a lot. Our evenings are spent a lot more outside, and I don't have as much time sitting in the kitchen to cook my home cooked meals. So this is going to be a real lifesaver for us. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to leave some recipes in the description box if this is something you're interested in making yourself. And if you like the content here, feel free to follow along. We have a lot more coming over the next few months, and I think I will be doing more freezer cooking because this was really easy and it's going to be so good for our family. So thank you again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm gonna go do dishes because, as you can see, I have a lot of dishes to do. That's probably the one downside to freezer cooking. Oh, and I have to clean the stovetop because, well, we saw what happened when I made my second batch of cream sauce. So keep cooking, and thank you again for watching.